Big Bang Bazinga. Are you an everyday nerd? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next episode. Yo, welcome to Your Everyday Nerd, the show where we like laugh tracks just as much as we like tying dogs to Heelys and watching them fall down a gigantic hill. I'm your host, Zack Snyder, and welcome back to Backlog Wednesdays. Happy Wednesdays. I was gonna call these Wednesdays When You Gonna Do That Wednesday, but it's too long, doesn't fit on the thumbnail, and I like Backlog Wednesday just a little bit more. So that's what we're going with. On Wednesdays, I take a look at media that I can't fit in with the other 5 days in the week. It's that simple. There it is. There it is. We're doing Big Bang Theory, everybody, today. So everybody get your nerd hats on. Let's get ready to laugh at some laugh tracks. So I've actually been planning on talking about the pilot of Big Bang Theory for quite a while now, but I've been really busy watching the CW's The Flash on Netflix. Not only that, but I got really into the Classic World Tetris Championships and have been practicing a lot of Tetris myself. Oh, I've also been playing a lot of Guitar Hero. Back in the early days of high school, my family was eating dinner and scanning through some television channels, and we came across the ever so popular The Big Bang Theory. Now, we'd never heard it before, but we watched a couple episodes, thought it was amusing for some reason. I then went to my local library, got a lot of the DVDs and took them home, watched them with the family. I even went and bought some of those DVDs myself. Can you see them? I don't think you can see them because I'm hiding them from you. My shame is too high. Actually, season 1 is right there. There you go. Boom. But I gotta be honest, it wasn't until a couple months ago when somebody ruined my enjoyment for this show. That's right, it's called the internet, and it ruins everything for you. At first glance, The Big Bang Theory is a show about nerds, by nerds, for nerds, right? I mean, they talk about comic books and TV shows and movies and video games. All nerds gotta love it, right? Well, this was one of the things that I thought was why I liked the show. It was one of the things that I thought made the show good, and I've now, reconsidered all of that after some things I saw on the internet, and, just taking a look back and really deciding for myself, why do I like this show? So, in order to get to the bottom of why everybody hates Big Bang Theory, and why maybe I'll hate it too, we'll see, I decided to go back all the way to season 1, episode 1. That's right, the pilot of this show, because it had to get greenlit somehow, right? Let's take a look.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait.
The Big Bang Theory is an American sitcom by Chuck Lorre and Bill Prati, two of America's most successful sitcom writers. The Big Bang Theory technically started in 2006 with a different pilot and some different characters, but it wasn't that great, so they didn't move it to the next round in the TV seasons. So instead, they went ahead and redid the pilot, made new characters, and boom, Big Bang Theory premiered on September 24th, 2007. The show currently has 11 full seasons, and it's now on its 12th season. It's also its final one. I know. Alexa, this is so sad. Please play this. I've seen all 10 of them. I've seen the first 10 seasons. I haven't seen the 11th season yet, but I've seen all of them. I don't know why. Maybe I hate myself. I don't know. Either way, Big Bang Theory got super popular in America especially, and they ended up making a spin-off show called Young Sheldon, which I actually enjoyed a lot better than Big Bang Theory. I did a video called Young Sheldon is Genius. You can check that out in the description box below. But anyways, the rest is history. So let's take a look back at the first episode of The Big Bang Theory.
So if a photon is directed through a plane with 2 slits in it and either slit is observed, it will not go through both slits. If it's unobserved, it will. However, if it's observed after it's left the plane but before it hits its target, it will not have gone through both slits.
Agreed. What's your point?
There's no point. I just think it's a good idea for a t-shirt.
The episode starts with its 2 titular characters, Sheldon Cooper and Leonard Hofstadter. Do you like to use the word titular? That's because this is a smart show, and I gotta make sure my script matches that intelligence. Anyways, the 2 characters enter a high IQ sperm bank, which tells us that they're smart. It also tells us they're about to be extremely nervous. Unfortunately for future women that really wanted an intelligent kid, these two nerds end up walking out because they're too nervous, they're too afraid of it. They don't actually want to go spank it in a sperm bank. I don't blame them. I feel like the money's got to be good, but I don't know if I want a lot of baby Zacks running around in the world yet. I think I'm gonna wait on that. Either way, in the first couple of minutes, you can kind of figure out why people have a problem with this show. The first quote-unquote joke is the fact that Sheldon has a science fact on his t-shirt. Now, originally I thought this show was by nerds for nerds. It's got a science fact. They're trying to make it funny. But unlike other shows, especially like adult cartoons like Rick and Morty and Futurama, who use science as humor in certain situations, but you have to be intelligent in order to figure out the joke. This case, it's much more of, hey, Sheldon said this nerdy fact, let's laugh at him because he's a nerd. We also see Leonard being impatient, which is shown through his nervousness and his lack of social skills. Once again, he says a lot of intelligent words as he fills out someone else's crossword puzzle for them because they're too dumb. I gotta solve their problem for them. And we end up wanting to, or at least some people laugh at these jokes, which in actuality are just laughing at a nerd being intelligent. In other words, this is the same juvenile humor that we see in bullies in elementary schools when they pick on nerds. Now, besides that, there is another pivotal problem with the show already in the first minute. I know, I'm nitpicking it like crazy. The show has laugh tracks, and laugh tracks equal extremely awful. I hate laugh tracks, and I didn't even realize how much I hated them until somebody pointed them out to me, but they're constantly used at non-funny jokes that aren't even considered jokes. They're abysmal. There's no reason why they should be in here, and the show wouldn't even be able to work without the laugh tracks because there'd just be a bunch of awkward filled-in space. It's a big problem for The Big Bang Theory and for sitcoms as a whole. Did we just deconstruct what makes sitcoms kind of awful? I think we did. The first scene isn't completely awful though. There are a couple of jokes that do make me, chortle? I'm gonna use the word chortle. Problem here is that there are lines set up as jokes that are not funny at all.
There's some poor woman who's gonna pin her hopes on my sperm. What if she winds up with a toddler who doesn't know if he should use an integral or a differential to solve for the area under a curve?
Like, there's an actual real-life audience that's laughing at this unfunny statement. It's not funny. What about this is supposed to be funny? Maybe you could say that it's the absurdity of a toddler doing calculus, but no, I don't think that's it. I guess it's maybe Sheldon thinks that a toddler could be learning calculus, but hey, he'd be learning calculus wrong. LOL, that's not funny either. And even still, why would the audience be laughing at an intellectual joke like this? I'm pretty sure everybody in that audience is not taking calculus. Once again, it comes down to the fact that Sheldon is a nerd, and Sheldon the nerd said something intellectual, I guess, and oh, let's make fun of the intellectual nerd. That's the humor here. It's not good. And this happens a lot, but I digress. Let's move on. On the way up a flight of stairs, Sheldon makes a fun fact about stairs, which Leonard dismisses. It's an alright joke, I guess. This just sets up the fact that Sheldon talks about mundane things quite frequently, and when he says these things, other characters get annoyed at him. And since they're annoyed at him, it makes us laugh. We're annoyed at him. And since we're annoyed at him, we're laughing at Sheldon. Oh, I'm sorry, did you just laugh at an autistic person? That's not cool. After coming back to their apartment, they meet the girl next door, the new girl next door. It's Penny, everybody. The thing that most people watch this show for. Let's just be honest. This scene is pretty much nerd meets girl that he likes, and he gets super awkward about it. It's fine, it's whatever. Oh, and Battlestar Galactica.
No, we're gonna start season 2 of Battlestar Galactica.
We already watched the season 2 DVDs.
Not with commentary.
Big Bang Theory has another Big Bang Bazinga problem. They think it's funny to reference things in nerd culture. By saying the words Battlestar Galactica, they automatically have to relate to you, the nerd, because you are a nerd, right? You've probably seen Battlestar Galactica, right? So since you know this thing and it's relatable to you, and ooh, you're a nerd, you'll probably watch the commentary tracks, right? This is so relatable. Now you're laughing, right? You're definitely laughing. Come on, laugh. Laugh at our jokes, you uncultured swine. I haven't watched Battlestar Galactica, by the way, so I guess I'm not that much of a nerd. I can't relate. Maybe I'm not intelligent enough to get the joke. Oh, but wait, there's a fault in logic here, because The Big Bang Theory is a popular show, and the majority of the people that watch The Big Bang Theory, they probably haven't seen Battlestar Galactica, especially with the commentary tracks. So does that mean they're laughing at the nerds because, oh, they said a nerdy thing? That's really funny. They must enjoy your everyday nerd, because we talk about nerdy things all the time. So Leonard wants to invite Penny over to their apartment, and Sheldon knows the real reason this is, because, you know, when Leonard wants to get in the sheets, do the horizontal polka with her, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then we get the best joke in the episode.
I have 212 friends on MySpace.
This joke hasn't aged at all. I mean, what's so great about this joke is the fact that Facebook actually overthrew MySpace in the end of 2008, like only a year after this joke was made on television. I think it's quite wonderful, actually. And the rest of the plot of the episode kind of happens. Penny comes over, she wants to use their shower because her shower is broke. Leonard, of course, agrees, hoping that she'll invite him into the shower with him, you know, because that makes sense. And then we find out that Penny just broke up with her ex-boyfriend who stole her TV, or at least never gave it back to him. So she wants Leonard and Sheldon to go after there and get the TV for them. Because that's a good idea. It's a great idea. And it's funny too. Laugh, you sheep. Here's the thing I will say though. While the jokes in this episode are not funny, there really wasn't much in this episode that made me laugh or chortle at all. There is something I genuinely do like about the episode, and that's the interactions between the characters. There's a lot of common tropes here, you know, nerd meeting beautiful girl type trope, but it's kind of enjoyable to see those interactions play out. And it's one of the things that I found is the reason I kept watching this show. It's not the jokes, it's the interactions between the human beings that are being portrayed here, even if those human beings aren't particularly that great. Give me a second.
Oh, you're inviting me over to eat?
Yes.
Oh, that's so nice. I'd love to.
So I decided to watch another episode of Big Bang Theory, but this time the pilot of season 10. And I noticed something really interesting and different. There wasn't as many nerd references. In fact, there wasn't a Battlestar Galactica or a I'm playing Halo on Halo night, or let's go play Monopoly downstairs. There wasn't any of these references that aren't funny. There was just general interactions between human beings. And I thought that was kind of cool. In fact, the humor became so much better when it focused on situational humor compared to the referential humor that the show tried to, you know, come into. You know, you got shows like Family Guy that is basically a lot of referential humor, some slapstick comedy, some situational humor, but they have those references there, and the fault that Family Guy has is that it tries to throw too many jokes at the wall too many times. It's still a funny show every once in a while, but as the seasons continued to grow, they just ended up throwing hundreds of jokes at the wall, while only a few of them actually ended up being funny. And that's what early Big Bang Theory is. It's a lot of nerd references, it's a lot of awkwardness between nerds, it's a lot of, you guys are nerds, I'm gonna make fun of you because that's what I used to do in elementary school, is bully nerds. It's a lot of that, and that's one of the reasons I actually do not like early Big Bang Theory at all now. Watching that first episode, it would be really hard for me to watch the rest of that season, and even the rest of the first seasons over again, because I haven't seen them in years, but I'm pretty sure I dislike them because of this style that they have here. But growing up with the show over the last 7 years, I've noticed that these characters do evolve. And fortunately for the show, I think it saves it. This was definitely a product of the early Web 2.0 days with MySpace and all that kind of stuff, with the bad jokes and stuff, and I think it's definitely grown with the times and made it into a better show. And fortunately, I think this helps the show tremendously, because let's think about it for a second. Back in 2007, nerds weren't that popular. Iron Man was just a comic book character that not a lot of people knew about. And Game of Thrones was just a book series that not many people had read. Nerds weren't popular. They never were until the past like 10 years, really? Because once 2008 hit and we had Iron Man the movie come out, it was a pretty big hit. And then 2018, how many people went and saw Avengers Infinity War? Like literally everybody in the world went and saw Avengers Infinity War. It's crazy. The same goes for Game of Thrones. They were just books, but now they're a really popular TV show that millions of people watch. We also have YouTube, which is getting billions of views a day on videos that are about nerdy subjects. Comic books and video games and TV shows and movies. All of these things are more popular now than they ever were, not from just the nerd perspective, but from an overall perspective. Nerd culture is more relevant and more popular today than it ever has been. So if Big Bang Theory was putting out season 12, episode 1, and they were making a joke like, haha, I just watched the new Doctor Who episode, nobody would laugh because everybody would feel insulted. And that's how nerds felt in 2007 when this show first got released. People saw it insulting. It wasn't funny. They made bad jokes that weren't jokes. And again, fortunately, they've changed for the better. Well, I guess I'm a sellout now. Pokemon! Pokemon! Everybody's raving about that new Pokemon game. Oh, apparently they're not. They're not too thrilled about it. But guess what? I'm going to be talking about it once it releases, and I thought some of you guys might want to play it alongside me when I talk about it on Your Everyday Nerd. So I got some news for you. That's right, we're doing a giveaway here. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee release on November 16th. So before that release date, I'm giving away one copy of the game. You get to pick which version you want if you win. Check out the link in the description box below before it's too late to enter, and return to future episodes of Your Everyday Nerd to find out other ways you can win the giveaway. That's all we have time for today. If you're Team Leonard, go ahead and leave a Big Bang Bazinga like. If you're Team Sheldon, go ahead and leave a Big Bang Bazinga comment. You can also like the video too. If you're both teams or you're none of them, you can also hit the subscribe button for more nerdy content every single day. Except for Sundays. I'm working on that Sunday slot. Eventually, we'll get them in there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.